Chapter 528 Yuhao and Tang Wutong's strength. As he walked off, a title Douluo from the Doling Empire couldn't help but comment, "This kid is too arrogant. Although he's capable, it's still, shut up." The heavenly son Douluo turned grim. He's not just capable. When we were his age, we were nothing yet. His future is unlimited. In addition, are we really comfortable with using a kid to threaten our enemy? The White Tiger Duke sighed and said, "Heavenly son, what suggestions do you have? What should we do next?" The heavenly son Douluo pondered for a moment before replying. "We should send a letter to the Sun Moon Empire under the name of our three empires and ask them to return the territories that they have taken from the Heavenly Soul Empire. At the same time, there should also be a contract that prohibits any war from being started within the next 100 years. We'll then return the crown prince to him." After hearing his words, the White Tiger Duke was stunned and smiled bitterly. "Elder heavenly son, those conditions are a little too." The heavenly son Douluo said, "There's always a price to pay. If we don't set higher demands, how will we have the room to negotiate?" The White Tiger Duke was a little conflicted right now. As he looked at the little fellow in his arms, he was at a loss as to what to do. He was someone with children, and not just one child. Even though he had killed many people in his life before, he still couldn't help but sigh in his heart when he saw a child in his arms in addition to what Yuhao had said earlier. Yuhao appeared much calmer after he returned to his room. He didn't utter a word and only sat on his bed. Tang Wutong accompanied him and sat beside him. She grabbed his hand and placed it between her hands. After this, she lowered her head and said, "Yuhao, go and do what you want to do. No matter what your decision is, I'll always be on your side, even if..." As she spoke until here, she lifted her head to look at him. Yuhao was also gazing at her by now. As their gazes met, the look in Tang Wutong's eyes became sharper. "Even if you make the entire world your enemy." Yuhao's entire body shook, and he pulled her into his embrace. His voice was trembling. "All right, even if I make the entire world my enemy." In his mind, both little Yanan and the White Tiger Duke's face kept on appearing. "Juzi, don't worry. I'll definitely return your son to you. The war should never involve harming a little kid. In the future, we'll be enemies and I'll do my best to resist the Sun Moon Empire on the battlefield. However, I won't let your kid come to any harm now. He's only a kid. In my heart, he isn't just some crown prince." The sky slowly turned dark. It was extremely dark on the mountains at night. Two figures silently appeared at the peak of the mountain, peering into the distance amidst the thick night fog. Tang Wutong was beside Yuhao, helping to knit his shirt. Yuhao's expression was very calm, but he clearly knew that this path that he had chosen would most likely change his future. However, he was very certain about his decision. Tang Wutong gently leaned on him and revealed a satisfied look on her face. "Yuhao, do you know what I'm thinking of?" Tang Wutong asked softly. "What?" Yuhao asked. There was a strong nostalgic look in Tang Wutong's eyes. "Initially, you were still so small and weak when we first came to Shrek Academy. However, you defeated me using your persistence. Then, you left a deep impression in my mind. After that, we joined the freshman test and fought together, turning the impossible possible. We emerged as the eventual champions. Now, we are going to fight together again. In fact, it seems like it's been a long time, hasn't it?" "Yes." They hadn't fought together in their peak condition in a long time, ever since Yuhao had been critically injured from retrieving the yearning heartbreaking grass, and had to sit in a wheelchair. Yuhao sighed a little and said, "I hope we won't need to fight." As they finished speaking, they had already disappeared into the night. Ever since Yuhao, the heavenly son Douluo and the rest returned, there was another tent beside the White Tiger Duke's tent. Two nannies were specially deployed to take care of Shu Yanan. Shu Yanan had been crying uncontrollably ever since he woke up and discovered that Yuhao wasn't around. After a while, he couldn't stand the hunger, and fell asleep after eating something. His adaptability was actually very great. He was barely a year old, and didn't recognize anyone. The curtains moved slightly, and two figures arrived outside the tent. It was pitch black inside the tent right now. Little Yanan was sleeping very soundly in his cot. The two nannies were sleeping at his side, ready to attend to the little fellow if there was a need to. Yuhao revealed a gentle smile on his face, but he didn't make a sound. He walked towards the cot. At this moment, a long sigh could be heard outside the tent. "Yuhao, why do you have to do this?" A low-pitched but firm voice echoed. Yuhao acted like he didn't hear the voice and continued to walk towards the cot. He took little Yanan into his embrace. After this, he wrapped him up with a piece of cloth that he had prepared beforehand. With Tang Wutong's help, he wrapped him up tightly. How could he not have expected the White Tiger Duke to guess that he was going to come? However, he still came despite knowing that. This was because he clearly knew that he couldn't be fooled if little Yanan wasn't here. Given his spiritual detection, he would also be able to find little Yanan's detailed location with his spiritual detection. This was why the White Tiger Duke didn't move little Yanan away. Yuhao also went along with it, which brought him here. He gently caressed the little baby's soft black hair. The gentle look on his face didn't change. "Little fellow, don't worry. I'll protect you until you return to your mother's side." After he finished speaking, he held Tang Wutong's hand, and the two of them walked out of the tent. Outside the tent, more than 10 figures were scattered in a semicircle. The White Tiger Duke and heavenly son Douluo were in the center. The heavenly son Douluo furrowed his brow, while the White Tiger Duke appeared as conflicted as before. Without a doubt, the heavenly son Douluo was a little disdainful of Yuhao in the beginning, but now, he was very impressed with Yuhao, just like how the White Tiger Duke. They both knew that Yuhao was going to be the main pillar of Shrek Academy and a man of power in Shrek City in the future. If they could, they didn't want to offend someone like him and get into his bad books. However, Yuhao was crossing the line by trying to take Shu Yanan away. The heavenly soul Douluo said, "Yuhao, we can take it as if nothing has happened if you leave the crown prince now. You can return to Shrek City." Yuhao shook his head and answered, "Since I'm here, there's not backing out. We can't use a child as a bargaining chip in this war. We can't hurt him because of that. This is why I must take him away today. No matter what, I'm leaving with him." The heavenly son Douluo's look turned sharper. "How dare you? Do you really think you can escape with so many people here?" Yuhao's eyes were filled with resilience and a strong fighting intent. "If I don't give it a try, how will I know? Even if I fail, at least I tried. If you want the kid back, you'll need to stop me first." The heavenly son Douluo's clothes moved even though there was no wind. "All right, what an arrogant little man. I really want to see what abilities you possess apart from your detection and concealment abilities. How dare you talk so big?" As he spoke, the heavenly son Douluo took a step forward. His entire body instantly started to shine. The strong light that came from his body made him seem like a rising sun. He reached forward with his right hand and grabbed towards Yuhao. A golden hand appeared in the air and approached Yuhao. The surrounding air distorted tremendously, and the temperature rose quickly. However, the weird thing was that the temperature only rose around Yuhao. Nothing changed elsewhere. With his control of his soul power, this rank 97 transcendent Douluo was indeed very powerful. Yuhao took a step forward with his left foot. He placed his left palm in front of his chest and slowly pushed it forward. He wasn't quick, but the expressions of all the titled Douluo changed when they saw him doing this. This was because all of them could sense that an ice mountain seemed to shift as Yuhao pushed his palm forward. The immense aura that was released didn't seem to be weaker than that of the heavenly son Douluo. Behind Yuhao, a beam of jade green light also started to shine. It was a ravishing beauty that was exuding a jade green glow from her body. She was icy cold as she stared at the heavenly son Douluo. The heat in the air was completely suppressed after she appeared. Even the light from the heavenly son Douluo's hand became much dimmer because of her. Yuhao didn't move a single inch, but the hand that the heavenly son Douluo formed was crushed in the air. A slightly red look appeared on Yuhao's face, but it soon disappeared. The heavenly son Douluo was the most astonished by what he saw. He had thought that he already regarded Yuhao very highly. However, it was only after seeing that he realized he had underestimated Yuhao. Even though he hadn't unleashed his full power yet, Yuhao was still able to directly resist his attack. What did this mean? It meant that Yuhao was strong enough to resist him. It was important to note that every single rank from a transcendent Douluo represented vastly different levels of abilities. To be able to resist the heavenly son Douluo's attack, Yuhao had to at least possess the fighting strength of a rank 95 transcendent Douluo. None of the titled Douluo around were able to do that. The White Tiger Duke's eyes immediately shrank. He didn't expect Yuhao's abilities to have grown to such a standard in just a short 2 years. This was astonishing. It was already very difficult to accept the fact that he was a titled Douluo who was barely 20, much less a transcendent Douluo who was barely 20. Of course, Yuhao wasn't a transcendent Douluo. He was still a rank 89 soul Douluo, yet to make his breakthrough. However, it must not be forgotten that he had a soul core. In terms of direct fighting strength, he was not weaker than a titled Douluo. He even had Tang Wutong with him. When he combined his power with Tang Wutong, the fighting strength that they could generate was indeed at the tier of a transcendent Douluo. Out of the 3 graduation tests that Shrek Academy set for Yuhao, one of them involved Yuhao being able to defeat Ding Yanchaosh. Yanchaosh was a class 97 transcendent Douluo now. Yuhao and Tang Wutong were confident of beating him, but they were confident of escaping from him. The Heavenly Sun Douluo was also ranked 97, but his abilities were still some way off from Yanchaosh. As a result, it was easy for Yuhao and Tang Wutong to resist the Heavenly Sun Douluo's attack. Everything sounded very slow, but it actually happened in a flash. After his attack was dissipated, the Heavenly Soul Douluo's body instantly shone, and a blinding ball of sunlight also started to glow above his head. Countless streaks of blinding golden light turned into rays of light that shot toward Yuhao. Lofty light rays. It was the Heavenly Soul Douluo's signature soul skill. Yuhao remained unmoved. He slowly raised his right palm, which he had pushed forward earlier, and was now covered in diamond ice crystals. The Heavenly Sun Douluo's martial soul was fire type. Although it was of a very high quality, it was still some way off from ultimate fire. Yuhao's ultimate ice martial soul was the jinx of fire type martial souls. When his opponent's martial soul wasn't as strong as his martial soul would have an even greater effect. He mimicked a lifting action, and the jade green projection behind him disappeared. What replaced it was a fatso. This fatso was smiling from ear to ear, and his body exuded a strong icy blue glow. He chuckled at the Heavenly Sun Douluo. Following this, a huge ball of icy blue light shot violently into the air with Yuhao at the center. This was the 8th soul skill of Yuhao's Ice Jade Empress Scorpion. Icy Meteor. Yuhao clearly knew that it wasn't easy for him to break free from an encirclement by more than 10 titled Douluo. Among these titled Douluo, 5 of them were transcendent Douluo. Although the combination of Tang Wutong and his abilities were extraordinary, it wasn't possible for both of them to resist so many titled Douluo at once. If they couldn't directly resist them, they could only find a means of escaping. Once they managed to put some distance between themselves and these titled Douluo, Yuhao could use his concealment abilities to flee. When that happened, there wouldn't be any problems even if there were many more titled Douluo around. This was why he immediately used his strongest soul skills. When he first unleashed his icy meteor, it only appeared as a huge icy ball that was a meter in diameter. Nothing seemed to be very special about it. However, it kept growing larger as it rose. Furthermore, an icy aura was becoming stronger and more violent inside this icy ball. When the Heavenly Sun Douluo's light struck this icy meteor, they were immediately dissipated. There wasn't any effect at all. The Heavenly Sun Douluo's expression changed slightly. If he wanted to unleash a powerful soul skill, he would need time to accumulate his power. Yuhao was able to use his icy meteor immediately because he was already prepared, and also because he had the help of his spirits. The star Anna's mysterious ice brass had already appeared on his shoulder. This was why the Heavenly Sun Douluo didn't have time to unleash a powerful soul skill. He could only use his own immense strength to resist the icy meteor. Bang! The Heavenly Sun Douluo's palm struck the icy meteor. In his opinion, Yuhao's abilities were already at the standard of a transcendent Douluo. At most, he would be flung away from trying to resist the attack. However, something unexpected happened. When his palm struck the icy meteor stopped for a moment. However, it didn't blow apart. It didn't unleash any extraordinary power either. The Heavenly Sun Douluo only felt as if there was a layer of glue on his palm, which glued it to the icy ball. Before he could even struggle, a weird yet terrifying power was violently unleashed from the icy meteor. It wasn't an attack, but a thrusting force. What was a meteor? It was an extremely rapid cluster of rock. This icy meteor wasn't an exception. Under Yuhao's precise control, its explosive strength wasn't unleashed. However, its speed was demonstrated almost instantly. As a result, all the titled Douluo saw how terrifyingly quick the ice meteor was. It had really turned into a real meteor that flew into the distance. It didn't fly away on its own. The Heavenly Sun Douluo was still with it. This ice meteor was clearly taking the Heavenly Sun Douluo away with it. It was so quick that it appeared like a bolt of lightning. This meant that Yuhao had forcefully dragged the rank 97 titled Douluo away in just a few clashes. Though whether he could harm the Heavenly Soul Douluo was another thing. At least he was able to isolate the Heavenly Sun Douluo from the fight. Yuhao's right hand didn't move down at all. The fatso behind his back changed to a ravishing yet mighty-looking lady, who seemed to dominate the entire world. She was dressed in a long, white dress. She opened her arms behind Yuhao's back. Suddenly, an intense, deep blue light turned into a huge beam of light that rose into the sky. Even the Heavenly Sun Douluo was greatly disadvantaged in the previous clash of hands. The rest of the titled Douluo was slightly hesitant now. No one entertained the thought of striking first. This was because they were still unsure of how strong Yuhao was. The beam of light shot into the sky. As it moved, countless snowflakes danced in the air, and the entire region was covered in an icy fog. It was the snowy dance of ultimate ice. It was just like how the Heavenly Sun Douluo focused all the heat on Yuhao earlier. When Yuhao unleashed his snowy dance of ultimate ice, only the titled Douluo were engulfed by this domain. Even the tents behind them were isolated. However, even so, all the titled Douluo felt as if they had lost track of Yuhao instantly. As Yuhao's cultivation increased, his snowy dance of ultimate ice naturally became much stronger. It became easy for him to isolate all use of spiritual detection. After all, that was his signature ability. Strong spiritual undulations were also released from his body. His eyes had turned completely golden. On his forehead, his vertical eye lit up. It was his eye of destiny. 2 rays of the light of destiny descended from the sky and struck both him and Tang Wutong. Luck was on their side now. Yuhao held onto Tang Wutong's little hand, and she naturally went into his embrace. Suddenly, a huge golden vertical eye suddenly appeared. Right now, all the titled Douluo were jolted to their senses. They used their powers to attempt to break out of the domain. However, this was a powerful domain type skill that was a combination of the Empress Chill and Yuhao's domain of perpetual ice. Given how strong his combination with Tang Wutong was as well as the Snow Empress control of this skill, every titled Douluo had to resist the blizzard and frenzied winds within the domain. They had to protect themselves before they could try breaking out. It was also at this moment that Yuhao and Tang Wutong's next soul skill was unleashed. The golden road amidst twittering resplendence. Yuhao's abilities were as great as a titled Douluo. Tang Wutong was already a titled Douluo. The fusion skills unleashed by both of them were extremely powerful. A golden road which was 30 meters wide and infinitely long appeared. 5 titled Douluo were caught within this golden road. They only felt as if they had instantly fallen into a furnace. Their sensing of soul skills instantly vanished. Their own martial souls also disintegrated immediately. Even their clothes immediately melted. Suddenly, they were all petrified and couldn't move at all. Among these 5 titled Douluo, one of them was even a transcendent Douluo. However, he was still stuck in the same situation. A purplish light projection suddenly rushed out at this moment. It was a huge, purplish dragon with butterfly wings. As it fluttered its wings, it was like a streak of flowing purple light. It was flying along the golden road. As it flew, countless small golden hammers scattered in the air. All the titled Douluo that charged over were immediately stunned. They could only watch as the purplish light projection shot past. They couldn't chase after it at all. Mantra amidst the void, spiritual tempest. The projection vanished amidst the golden light. The raging blizzard also slowly disappeared. What remained was only a bunch of titled Douluo who were in shock as they looked at each other. There were more than 10 titled Douluo. Were they so weak that they couldn't keep 2 people here? Of course not. They didn't think of linking up at all. In their eyes, Yuhao and Tang Wutong were only juniors, no matter how talented they were. At most, they were only close to being titled Douluo. The Heavenly Sun Douluo should have been enough to deal with both of them. Moreover, they didn't think of harming Yuhao and Tang Wutong. Both of them came from Shrek Academy. If they harmed them, how could they count to the academy? Because of this, they underestimated their opponents and didn't give it their all. The Heavenly Sun Douluo returned, but he looked a little pathetic. The icy meteor had sent him extremely far away. At that instant, he couldn't resist, even though he wanted to. He could only muster his soul power to protect himself. When he finally accumulated enough strength to unleash a powerful soul skill, the icy meteor blew apart. The explosion didn't hurt him, but pushed him even further away. Undoubtedly, this was the result of Yuhao's immense spiritual control. The rest of the titled Douluo didn't pursue Yuhao and Tang Wutong, as they had lost track of their auras. Furthermore, they were all in disbelief right now. Who would have thought that 2 youngsters who were barely 20 would manage to break free from an encirclement of more than 10 titled Douluo? They even managed to escape before any real fight had begun. The White Tiger Duke was also wide-eyed in shock. When he saw the frustrated Heavenly Sun Douluo, he was a little speechless too. Heavenly Sun, should we pursue him? A titled Douluo from the Doling Empire asked. When the heavenly son Douluo saw the golden road, there was an uncertain expression on his face. After a brief moment, he said in a weird voice, when we went to the Sun Moon Empire, we only had one target, assassinate Shuti and Ran. Eventually, the body Douluo sacrificed his life to bring everyone back safely. This matter will end here. After hearing the heavenly son Douluo's words, the white tiger Duke heaved a sigh of relief. Without a doubt, the heavenly son Douluo had compromised. His words meant that he wouldn't pursue this matter any further. He would take it as if nothing had happened. This was undoubtedly the wisest choice. At least, they wouldn't offend Tang Wutong and Huo Yuao any further. This wasn't because of how much the heavenly son Douluo admired Huo Yuao. More importantly, it was because of the terrifying powers that he had revealed. He was already so strong, even though he was barely 20. If he was able to escape from the hands of more than 10 titled Douluo now, what would he be like in 10 years' time? There was no longer any way of seeing through him. Even the rank 97 heavenly son Douluo felt fearful because of him. Yes, fearful was the right word to use. Right now, they were sure that he was bound to become the person who would truly control Shrek City in the near future. He was definitely going to become an ultimate Douluo. At least his abilities were unheard of, even for the body Douluo when he was at Huo Yuao's current age. Huo Yuao had twin martial souls, of which one was an ultimate martial soul and the other was a spiritual type martial soul. His soul skills were immensely strong, and he even had spirits, something that he had come up with on his own. Undoubtedly, he was a generational figure of the Douluo continent. No one could see through him anymore. The white tiger Duke walked in front of the heavenly son Douluo. He sighed and said, "It seems like we were really wrong. For someone like Huo Yuao, we can say that he is a product of destiny. If he disagrees with something, it should be wrong." The heavenly son Douluo's facial muscles twisted, and he said, "That rascal. He was really merciless. I was almost hurt just now. If I knew he was so strong, I would have gathered all the strength we could and attacked Shu Tianran. We might have succeeded." The broken star Douluo laughed bitterly. If someone had told you that he was that strong and could even resist you, would you believe it? You wish. I'm going now. Those from the Doling Empire, come with me. The heavenly son Douluo didn't want to remain any longer. He took advantage of the night and quickly left with the titled Douluo from the Doling Empire. A few days later, the news that the three empires from the original Douluo continent had sent many soul masters to the Sun Moon Empire to assassinate Shu Tianran, along with news of the body Douluo's death and Shu Tianran's critical injuries, quickly spread throughout the entire Douluo continent. The Sun Moon Empire's army also started to act weirdly after that incident. According to the intelligence gathered, many soldiers seemed to have been deployed within the Sun Moon Empire. It felt like something serious was about to break out. Both Huo Yuao and Tang Wutong were in the Sun Moon Empire right now. After leaving the Mingdo mountain range, they took Shu Tianran on one round before they returned to the Sun Moon Empire. There weren't any titled Douluo with them this time. The two of them were thus more agile and managed to sneak their way back within the Sun Moon Empire's borders. Little Yanan was sleeping very sweetly. It was only at dawn on the second day that he woke up in Huo Yuao's arms. When he opened his eyes, he was about to cry. However, when he saw that he was in Huo Yuao's embrace, he smiled as he screamed, "Daddy, Daddy." Huo Yuao caressed his head and softly said, "Call me uncle. I'm not your father. I'll make you something nice to eat later. After you finish, I'll send you home, all right? Go home and find your mom. Mommy, mommy." Little Yanan screamed twice, but then his eyes turned red, and he started to cry. Tang Wutong snapped, "It's all your fault. You triggered him by mentioning his father." In the end, the temptation of food was much greater to a one-year-old kid compared to the temptation of meeting his mother. When Huo Yuao made his signature fish soup and fed it to Little Yanan, he stopped crying. He was delighted as he feasted on the fish. Even though he was barely a year old, he was already very big. He ate a lot of fish and even drank the fish soup. He was extremely joyous. However, Tang Wutong and Huo Yuao's inexperience with kids was still exposed. Yanan had peed all over Huo Yuao's body, and only left him with a warm but wet feeling. They didn't have any children's clothing. They could only strip Little Yanan's pants before using Huo Yuao's shirt to wrap him up. As he flew into the sky again and proceeded in the direction of Radiant City, Huo Yuao sighed. Bringing up a child isn't easy. Tang Wutong laughed and replied, "I wonder who it was that said that he would take care of our kid in the future." Huo Yuao chortled and said, "It's not easy, but I didn't say I'm not going to do it. If you are willing to give birth, I'll take care of every child that you bear." Tang Wutong turned red. Wishful thinking. "You have to earn my father's approval first." Huo Yuao laughed. "For someone as outstanding as me, I don't think I can fail even if he's extremely picky. When we return this time, let's invite him over." Tang Wutong gently acknowledged his words. The two of them were in a rush. When they came close to Radiant City, they were both stunned. In just 2 days, the eastern suburb of Radiant City had been completely filled with soldiers. At least a few 100,000 soldiers were gathered there. From afar, Huo Yuao felt as if Radiant City was like a monster that was brewing with anger as he sensed it with his immense power of destiny. This monster was ready to bear its fangs at any time. Huo Yuao turned serious immediately. It was indeed like he had expected. The Sun Moon Empire had no intention of compromising because of Shu Yanan's disappearance. On the contrary, the Sun Moon Empire seemed to have been enraged. Many soldiers were gathered here right now. Without a doubt, they were here to reignite the war. A large-scale war couldn't be reignited at will. Although the Sun Moon Empire had been accumulating their strength for some time, they would still need to deploy a large number of reserves if they wanted to deploy their troops suddenly. They couldn't do it immediately, but it wouldn't take them long. Tang Wutong turned grim too. It seems like the Sun Moon Empire is going to attack more ferociously than before. I'm afraid it's going to be more difficult to deal with them. Huo Yuao nodded and said, "Even if we didn't snatch the crown prince, I believe Shu Tianran would have attacked a few days after the ceremony. But now, they have even more reason to do so." Tang Wutong looked at Shu Yanan. "What should we do then?" Huo Yuao replied, "No matter what, we need to bring this fellow back first. I've said before that war has nothing to do with a kid. This is a confrontation between adults. I'll protect my empire and do my best to resist its enemies. However, I won't do anything lowly. We'll enter the city and return the kid." Sneaking into Radiant City this time was far more difficult than the previous time. After the assassination incident, the city was under very strict supervision. Many more aerial surveillance cell tools were installed, completely covering Radiant City. It felt as if a big war was about to break out. However, this didn't stop Huo Yuao. No matter how strong the aerial surveillance cell tools were, there were still flaws that he could exploit. He managed to find a flaw within an hour, and led Tang Wutong as they snuck into Radiant City before proceeding toward the Imperial Palace. They couldn't remain in Radiant City for a long time. They would leave quickly after returning Little Yanan. Sun Moon Empire's Imperial Palace. Juzi quietly sat in her own inner palace. Right now, she was dressed like a warrior, clad in armor which was specially designed for her. It was a Class 9 soul tool. Among Class 9 soul tools, it was also one of the better ones. Thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Also leave a comment down below with suggestions on what novels to read.